Hello po, welcome to my channel. Kumusta? At magbibigay na naman ako ng another drawing tutorial, or should I say drawing secret. This is what I do whenever I want something from this to this very easily, effectively, and very quickly. So if you're interested with that secret, please watch this. So I'm gonna start with my reference photo right here. So I print it in a size that I wanted my drawing to be. So the size of the reference photo should be equal to the size of the drawing. So I can do this quick and easy technique right here. So I'm gonna fold my reference photo because of the size. The fold depends on the size. So for this small reference, I folded it 4 by 4. So 4 folds vertically and 4 folds horizontally. And then what I do is I'm gonna just put some dots on the squares right here. Okay, because again, the size of the reference is just the same as the drawing that I want to be. So if you want a bigger drawing, print a bigger reference. So again, this will not can be used anytime. This is just if you want something quick and easy, and because grid method, the smaller grids, that's very hard to do and it consumes lots of time. So for someone like me, I don't want to spend a lot of time for my outline. So what I do is this: I just folded it, and I even put a red ball pen on the squares on the grid so I can easily see the grid lines. Now this is where your skill matters here, your judgment. And that, trust me, this is not going to be very hard, because what I'm going to show you is what I call the geometric sketching. So here we are drawing our outline geometrically, not the usual rounded or something. So here we're just putting marks on the areas, like here for example, and because the reference is the same size of the drawing, it will be easy to you know to have this outline right here geometrically. And you just look closely at your reference, and you will see where to put all these lines right here. So you just analyze the parts of the figure on a specific square, and you try to see where on that particular square are the image, or the shape of the image right here. So you will see, you can just hold your reference right here, so you will see where to put all those lines. So isn't it a quicker way to have an outline? And because again, the goal is realistic drawing, but you don't need to be realistic at this stage. All you need to do is to find all these lines, and then the shadows. Also later on, you will see how to be able to build all those shadows geometrically, or using geometric shapes. But for this time, you have to be more accurate on the important objects of the face, like the eyes, the nostrils, the nose, and the lips. And the rest will be like, if the shadows will be very easy to outline later, if you already were able to draw the basics right here. So this is what I do if I want to draw something quicker. Yeah, so now it's easier. The big parts right here, the hairline, this is a lot easier to draw. The only thing that you have to spend more time on are the eyes, the eyebrows, the nose, and the lips, because that's where realism begins. If you get that, the outline of the shadows will be very easy. Like here, the contour of the face, that will be quickly outlined, because you already seem like trained. Your eyes is quite trained already with your squares, and you know exactly where on a specific square you put your outline. So this is the idea. This is a combination of grid, but this is a different kind of grid because this is big, and it works really well with geometric shading, because you don't have to use small grid, which is very tiring and very, very hard. So here I already have a complete outline geometrically of her face right there, all the shapes and the basic shapes of her face. Now for this one, for the man who's kissing her forehead, we do exactly the same thing. It's easier because he doesn't have his eyes is not visible to the drawing, only his nose, part of his nose right here, and then his lips right here. So if you try this, you will understand how it works, because yeah, you're just placing your outline on the exact position where on the square on the paper, it is exactly where on the square of the reference photo that we folded a while ago. You will see that. You will understand once you try it for yourself. But yeah, you can improve on this. You can try it as many times as you can. Maybe first, second try, you will still find it difficult, but if you are persistent, you will find it easier and quicker, because when you are drawing realism, it's important you have a good outline, okay, a nice outline to make it appear the same as the reference photo, and at the same time you have to be able to build your shadows easily and effectively. Right here, it's important to know where those shadows are right here. So I'm putting like square shapes on the face, on the like the blocks, the big blocks of shadows. So at this stage, you don't care about the details yet. You don't care about those small details. What you care about is your outline and your shadow, because this is what ito yung parang magbibigay ng base sa'yo eh. Up to this stage, you can decide what medium you're gonna use. Actually, you can use colored pencil, you can use charcoal, graphite, whatever you decide to use, for as long as you already have geometric outline. Now, I decided to use Cretacolor Nero oil-based charcoal pencil for this one. So I just decided it right now, and now I'm shading the outline to make a geometric shading. Okay, so I'm using, by the way, if you are doing like a black and white drawing, always start from light to dark. So I'm using now my lightest pencil of the Cretacolor Nero, which is the hard pencil that I have. If you are using graphite, you can start with an HB or an H or even a B, depending on the darkness of your reference photo. But here I'm shading all the outlines to make this solid shaded blocks of geometry right here. So again, we don't care about the details yet. We care about, you know, our outlines being shaded to make like a nice solid foundation for our realistic drawing. Because when you are able to build this early on in the drawing, the detailing, the layering of contrast using darker pencils later on will be much easier, because you don't have to be worried if the drawings will be exactly as your reference photo, because you know by doing this that there is a possibility of great success of the drawing if you already have this, because you know that you were able to place your outline, you were able to place your shadows depending on the outline, and now we are shading the outline to make it like a shadowed blocks right here. So I'm using just one pencil, and then I'm applying more pencil on darker tones, and then I'm applying lighter shades on the light tones. Now, the next step before we do the actual drawing or the actual layering of a pencil is to blend it using makeup brush right here, just to be able to, make it a lot more smoother right here. Now it's time to use darker pencils. Okay, so now you can now use whatever technique you have, or at this stage. It doesn't matter. You can use whatever technique you have. Now I'm using the darkest pencil on the dark shadows right here, and then I'm adding details using darker pencils now to make it look realistic. Now I'm not stressed out, because I know that I was able to build proper base for my drawing. Now that I'm making it realistic by using darker pencils, I'm really happy. It's really a fun way to draw and a quick way to draw realism using this technique. So now I'm completing the portrait, and I'm not gonna show you the actual skin tone, because you can apply whatever whatever materials you have. I just showed you the importance of the solid base or foundation, geometric shading, and the geometric outline that I showed you a while ago. So this is just a secret technique that I use for a long time whenever I want something quick, easy, and realistic right here. So here is the finished product. Tell me what you think.